One of the most common questions I get is how to get promoted to senior or staff as a mobile engineer. A lot of good developers feel stuck doing good work but unable to move up. The frustrating part is that it's not obvious at all what you need to do to actually get promoted. In this video, I'll explain how the level system works for mobile engineers and share a practical strategy you can use to grow, that I personally used to get promoted as an engineer and also supported others in their growth as an engineering manager. So let's first address why promotions sometimes feel random. For some people, it would take only 4 years to get to the senior level, but for others, twice as much. Is it because that person wasn't working enough? But do you really think that people at each step of the career ladder work more and more, let's say 40 hours for senior, 50 for a team lead, and 60 for an engineering manager? Not really, it doesn't sound realistic. Most people work roughly the same hours, but at different levels. Maybe this is connected to years of experience? Yes, generally with more years of experience, you've seen more, tried more technologies, worked on more projects. And that is definitely taken into account. But still, not everybody with 20 to 30 years of experience working as an engineering director. So there are no guarantees that you'll work a certain number of years and reach a certain position. Why? Because promotions are not rewards for your effort. They are a business decision based on visible impact. The real question is this person already operating at the next level and we can trust them with a bigger scope and more impactful projects? That's why the scale and impact of your work matter more than pure hours. For example, at Meta, this was called lagging promotions, which meant that you need to be operating at the next level before getting a promotion. And that can be quite difficult to do if you don't know what the next level looks like. So now let's break down how the leveling system works. In many tech companies, including Meta, the real differentiators are scope, impact, and autonomy. It's not about how many hours you work, but it's about how big are the problems you're solving, what is their impact for the company's business, and how independent are you. Let's walk through level by level. First, junior engineer or E3 at Meta. Your scope is relatively small. You work on individual tasks or tickets that are clearly specified. For mobile, this might mean developing a small new feature or a new screen in the app. Your impact comes mostly from completing those tasks correctly and on time. In terms of autonomy, you usually rely on guidance from a senior dev or a tech lead. This level is about learning and building strong fundamentals and showing that you can be trusted with more and more difficult tasks. Next, mid-level or E4 at Meta. At this level, your scope becomes larger. Instead of single tasks, now you're responsible for medium to large features that consist of many tasks. Your impact is now not only about the execution, but also about improving the code and the system you work on. You leave the codebase in better shape than you found it, refactoring or adding some tests. Autonomy increases significantly here. You're expected to deliver features independently without constant guidance. You understand your area of codebase pretty well and you start proactively driving changes instead of just waiting for tasks to be assigned. At this level, you also learn how to work with designers, product managers, and other teams to deliver projects on time. Okay, next, senior engineer is where the shift becomes very noticeable. Your scope now includes multiple projects or major parts of the app. Impact at this level is not about shipping projects. It's about improving performance, developer productivity, and product quality in general. You identify what's slowing the team down and work to fix it. Autonomy is really high here. You're a strong owner of specific components or parts of the system with end-to-end understanding. Senior engineers often act as tech leads on projects, influence technical decisions, and help others move faster with mentoring and guidance. Next, at staff level, the scope expands even further. You're no longer focused on a single team or project, but on entire products or multiple initiatives across multiple teams. Staff engineers usually lead company-wide projects that influence the work of many engineers. Examples here might include migration from Objective-C to Swift or introduction of some new development tools. As a staff engineer, your impact is strategic. You ship significant changes with cross-functional scope. That means not only on mobile, but also on the backend. You work closely with product, design, QA, and other engineering teams. Autonomy here is extremely high. You operate with very little oversight, often advising your manager and leadership on technical direction. So when you look at these levels side by side, the pattern becomes very clear. As you move up, it's not about doing more work. It's about handling bigger scope, more impactful projects, and having a higher autonomy. So your promotion strategy is to deliberately expand these three things. And most importantly, make it highly visible to your manager. Your manager is your most important ally in this process. Okay, let's go over the main actions you can do to improve your scope, impact, and autonomy. First and most obvious, you need to master your main stack. Whether it's iOS, Android, React Native, or Flutter. That means going deep into your platform. You should be efficiently solving problems in your domain and be familiar with all the common frameworks and tools. You shouldn't only know how to code new features, but also how to write tests, work with CI/CD, analytics, release new app versions to the App Store and other highly visible areas. The second, most impactful thing that you can do is to lead a project. Ideally, the project should involve multiple engineers in it. It should be full stack, mobile, front-end, back-end, and potentially have some dependencies on other teams. This is one of the strongest promotion signals because it shows that you can own a project from start to finish. Plan and coordinate other engineers, work with product, design, and release working software. Initiative is super important here to get such a project in the first place. The key skills that you can demonstrate with it are project planning, like breaking down work, estimating, coordination, like running sync meetings, and communication, such as stakeholder updates and postmortems. Another underrated but extremely important skill, especially at senior and staff level, is written communication. Writing clear design docs, proposals, and engineering roadmaps that help align multiple teams. The next thing is that you shouldn't be just an iOS only or Android only engineer. You are a software engineer and a professional problem solver. You need to solve the whole problem, not only the mobile part. That means participating in the backend API design and potentially implementation. This is where many mobile engineers quickly grow because it expands your scope significantly. You don't need to write all the backend code yourself, but it might be valuable to work closely with a backend team, influence API design, and understand why certain technical decisions are made there. That signals that you can work on the whole system, not only the mobile part. Alright, the next thing that can help you stand out is to be a product-minded engineer. Sounds cool, but what does it mean? The main mindset shift here is that you need to understand why certain projects and features are built. You're not only wearing the hat of a professional problem solver and executor, but also a product manager hat. Usually that means working closely with the design and the product team, participating in the UX research and brainstorming. But most importantly, you should bring ideas to the product table. That means analyze the app or current feature you're working on and propose improvements. Another thing that you can do here is to be mindful of trade-offs between product and technical parts. In mobile development, there are a lot of situations when you need to balance perfect user experience and engineering effort. For example, you can challenge the feature scope by looking at the analytics and the usage, or suggest simplifications to UX to reduce the engineering cost. Another important step is finding a mentor, a more experienced person in your domain area, who can share knowledge, answer your questions, and help you grow much faster. It is really powerful even if you're a senior engineer and an expert in your domain area. Almost always you have a room to grow and learn something from a more experienced person. You should be proactive here, reach out and ask for a short meeting. At Meta we had a really cool mentorship program where you can be paired with someone outside your team and meet bi-weekly. It took me time to find the right mentor because I wanted to improve my public speaking and technical writing skills, not only coding. Eventually I did, and it saved me years of time researching that on my own. Someone who has already reached the level you're aiming for is usually the best person to talk to. Okay, another thing that you can do is to mentor someone yourself. This might be a junior engineer, intern, or just a new team member. You can learn a lot by teaching others and also multiply your effort. What does this fancy phrase mean? Let me give you an example. You can teach teammate to write unit tests. You'll spend maybe a few hours doing that, but afterwards that person can write thousands of tests. Moreover, they can even teach others how to write unit tests. In this situation, your few hours of teaching multiplied and have much more impact than if you wrote those tests yourself. Alright, let's move on to the next thing, which is what people don't usually like doing, is asking for feedback. Yes, it is painful to hear, but it is a really important part of growth because it helps you calibrate and course correct. This is how you understand whether you're moving closer to that promotion. I would suggest regularly asking for feedback from your manager and your peers. Your relationship with your manager is extremely important because they will drive the promotion process and present your case. So you need to be on the same page with your manager and also make your work highly visible to them. Don't just quietly refactor code somewhere. Build roadmaps, propose certain initiatives, and aim for real business impact. For example, same refactoring may result into a pagination library that saves a ton of time for other engineers. Okay, finally, if you want a promotion, ask for it. Bring this question up as early as possible with your manager. Start by understanding where are you right now and what you need to do to get to the next level. Definitely ask your manager those questions. Obviously, you need to understand how career ladder works in your company and signal that you're interested. So please don't make a mistake of not asking for a promotion. And if nothing works and you don't see any progress in your current company, don't be afraid to change jobs. A job change can bring a higher title, higher compensation, a new interesting domain to work on, or new connections, new people. I've changed jobs multiple times and it worked really well for me. Just be strategic and don't leave your current job without a plan. To wrap up, the most important mindset shift that you need to get a promotion is to apply energy in the right place. There is a saying, it's not about how fast you climb, but whether it's the right mountain. Don't just grind low-impact tasks. Focus on expanding your scope and multiplying your impact by leading others, creating reusable systems, or just automating work. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.